Martin from the Philippines. We're here in Real Talk Lifeline. So, welcome to the Money series. And in this quick live, this one is called What is Financial Freedom? So, what is financial freedom? This is an insight that just hit me and where I'm coming from. A quick background on me. I'm currently reading because I have multiple mentors. So, I'm currently reading on the topic of money, The Multimillionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. So it's June 2025. This book was actually just pre-released in its beta version. T. Harv Eker has not released this to the publishers yet, so it's unedited raw. I'm enjoying it. What is that book? It's the sequel to T. Harv Eker's first book. For those of you who have heard of this one, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. This one is a number one New York Times bestseller. So, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. So, I first got into personal development seminars in 2018. So, this is how I got the book. I attended a seminar called Millionaire Mind Intensive. So, I've been learning on seminars, not just on money, but that in particular was a money mindset seminar. And my favorite part was the mindset, not the money, ironically. And I've been learning from other money mentors. So, Never Work Again, attended the Quantum Leap program. So, I went for it, and Never Work Again was, I think that was November 2018. So, this is where I got this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So another money mentor. So moving forward, I also have other mentors locally as a financial consultant, aka life insurance agent. I also deal with investments for the past decade. So that one I started November 2014 and now it's 2025. So locally, also internationally. So I attended some conferences like the $1 Million Roundtable, MDRT conferences, the experience in Hong Kong, in Bangkok, Thailand, and then the global conference in Sydney, Australia. So when it comes to money, mentors, and all this, right, coming into me, there was an insight that came to me on what is financial freedom, and I'll share it with you. And if it's not enough for you, well, stay to the end. I have a bonus, and that might even be better for you. So what is financial freedom? The first insight that hit me and I felt like sharing this with you guys is spend less than you earn. Spend less than you earn, not spend less than what you have. So some of you may be like, that sounds the same. Like, what do you mean? So spend less than you earn, not spend less than you have. So what does that mean? When you spend less than you earn, so let's say you earned 30,000 for the month, or you earned 1 million in a year, and you only spent 800,000 out of that, not the whole 1 million. That means you still have extra. You have a surplus. And what you do with that is you invest in assets and you keep growing your net worth. Now, how come, Martin, you said it's not spend less than you have? What you have is your net worth. So if you keep spending your net worth, you're depleting your money supply, right? Your capital. And that's not sustainable. So remember, the question is, what is financial freedom? Not what is using up your money, right? Now, if that still sounds a little like, okay, some people are like, I get it, perfect. Some people are on the other side, which is, wait a minute, still doesn't make sense fully. Well, this is the bonus I'll share with you. Ironically, it came from this guy, Alex Hormozi, and I do consider him a mentor, but it did not come from my training as a financial consultant. Ironically, it didn't even come from T. Harv Eker, who I am learning from. Robert Kiyosaki. So this is a different person. So Alex Hormozi said this, and I'm paraphrasing it. He said, wealth is not a number, it is a ratio when your income is greater than your expenses. So, what does that mean? I'll make it even more clear and specific. When your passive income from investments is greater than your lifestyle expenses. So now I'm combining the lessons of other mentors like T. Harv Eker, Robert Kiyosaki. So, what does that mean? When your passive income from investments is greater than your lifestyle expenses. So, lifestyle expenses, all that means is how much it costs to live. You may have like a bare, essential, basic cost of living. But if you buy a car, you have a certain lifestyle, you have to factor how much that costs also. If you travel, the cost of living in your area. So, and then the next point is passive income. What does that mean? So, even if you stop working or you can't work, because sometimes you get sick, you get disabled, right? You take a 1 year off, you can still pay for your life expenses. So, that's what passive income is. And I wanted to clarify and break that down because if you just say when your income is greater than your expenses, most people treat that as active income, meaning your working income. So if I work, then I earn commission. If you have a job, then you earn for the month, right? If you have a contractual work, you earn while you still have a contract. But what if you don't have work? Are you still earning? Is that even possible? It is. So that's called passive income. That's where investments or assets come in, specifically assets that actually pay you. So, Martin, give me an example. Maybe you buy a condo, a real estate property, you rent it out, you're getting monthly income. So that's a form of passive income. Whether you work or not, you get income. Give me another example, Martin. Well, there are these things called stocks, which give dividends. And then my personal example, because I got exposed to life insurance industry, investments, VUL, so insurance investments, mutual funds, UITFs, trust funds. So there's this thing called a cash flow fund, and it gives you payouts every quarter. Some of them give it every month, some of them give it every quarter, some do it semi annually, some do it annually. So you could do a type of cash flow fund that way. For the stock, so I recently learned what a REIT is. REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. So what that does is it's a stock based on real estate and it gives you dividends quarterly. For example, the A REIT, some other stocks or REITs could give it to you monthly, annually. So you have to study the investment you get into. The point is, even if you don't have a tenant, even if you don't have work, there is such thing as an investment or an asset that will keep paying you. So the most stereotypical example of this is a time deposit, and usually that gives lower return or lower interest. But the concept is you keep your money in for a year, and then they pay you anywhere from like 2%, 3%, 4%. Maybe if the interest or inflation is super high, it's up to 5% or higher. But in general, it's lower. So it's an investment that pays you. Simple concept. So that's it for this. What is financial freedom? A quick recap. The first tip is spend less than you earn, not spend less than what you have. So you don't eat up your capital, right? Whatever you're earning, again, you can use your active income, your working income. You can use passive income. If you have investments already, combine all of those and spend less than that. Now, I highly recommend, as T. Harv Eker actually shares here in his book, The Multi-Millionaire Mind, so the sequel to Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. He has this thing called the pay yourself first strategy. So what that means is you actually invest first. So if you get a million in a year, you invest 10%, that's 100,000. If you want to invest more, 200,000. Invest first. Pay yourself first. And then you spend the rest after. So why do that, Martin? Usually, statistically, and just from experience, people who spend all their money first and then invest the rest, usually there's nothing left. That's a broke mindset. They end up poor. They end up with nothing left. Some of them even end up in debt. So, negative, in other words. So, pay yourself first, invest first. So, again, recap is spend less than you earn, not spend less than what you have. And that extra money, pay yourself first, is going into investing in assets to grow your net worth. And then lastly, wealth is not a number, it is a ratio. When your income is greater than your expenses. So financial freedom is when your passive income from investments is greater than your lifestyle expenses. So thank you. Now, if some of you still want to learn more, comment live down below. Join me on Real Talk Lifeline. I talk about not just about money. We can talk about other topics such as relationships. We can talk about health. We can even talk about spirituality, your higher purpose in life. Comment live down below. Have fun. We'll talk live together. People who want one on one coaching, so comment clarity call down below. So, what I do is I help people and I ask you, what is your biggest challenge in life that you feel stuck with? So, I'll reach out to you, and I have already had several clarity calls online, which is the usual, which is just about an hour, and for some people who really requested it, I even met up face to face, which was even more powerful. So comment clarity call down below if you're interested in that. So thank you for the topic of this money series, this live. What is financial freedom? You got it. Thank you. I love you. And I will see you next time.